Call to order of the City Commissioner for the City of Boynton Beach, Tuesday, February 21st, 2017 at 6:30 p.m. Would everyone please rise for an invocation by Vice Mayor McCray, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Katz.
Let us bow to the Creator, Maker of all mankind. Heavenly Father, we come this afternoon, first recognizing that Thou art God. As we come tonight to deliberate on business for this great city, we ask that You lead us and guide us in the way that You will have us to go. Let us be cognizant of what we say and how we say it. In Your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Grant.
Here.
Vice Mayor McCray.
Here.
Commissioner Katz.
Here.
Commissioner Romulus.
Present.
Commissioner Casello.
Here.
All present.
Agenda approval. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? I see a request for community support funds.
Right. Could I add to 12B new business to talk about disbursement of some of my funds?
Okay. Do you want to put it at that time or move it up in the agenda?
That time's fine by me.
Okay. And I also would like to put a new item on 12C as a future agenda item for a moratorium on medical marijuana dispensaries within the city limits. All right.
Motion to approve as amended.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Informational items by members of the City Commissioner. Commissioner Cassell, I'll let you go first because you got some good news, right?
Yeah, depending if you're a friend or foe. Yes, I've been reelected unopposed. So my friends out there, I'll be sitting up here for the next term. For my people who don't agree with me, I'm still going to be sitting up here for the next 3 years. Also, I met the other day with a representative of BlackRock. Thank you. John Markey for the Cortina project over there behind the Target and Best Buy area. I also met with the representatives of Wawa today here at City Hall. And for those who don't know what Wawa means, I guess the natives, that's what they call the Canadian geese. That's how they got the name Wawa. I don't know why this company picked it, but it's catching.
Commissioner Romulus?
Which way coming back to me, Mayor?
Sure. Vice Mayor McCray?
Thank you, sir. I have some good news as well. I am officially a candidate for Commissioner District 2C. Thank you. I am running. Okay, first of all, I'd like to say that I went to the Finnish Consulate luncheon, and I thank you, Mayor, for reminding me not to sit down. I had to be etiquette, but I'm just saying I went and I thought the chairs was there, but I had no idea you're supposed to wait till guests sit, so I just sat down, so they asked me to stand back up. Okay, I went to the big band Sunday afternoon at the Boynton Beach High School. Very impressive, very informative, had a great time. I'd like to say while I was sitting there, I got a phone call from Channel 12 in regards to the shooting that, no, my phone did not go off. Thank you, I had it on silence. In regards to the shooting that took place that Saturday night here in District 2. Asked me what did I have to say, and I told her, and I will state it again tonight, and that was to let the police do their job, number one. Second of all, pray for the family. When I got the news that they had apprehended the young man, I got another phone call and asked me what did I have to say. Same comments. Tell the police thank you for doing their job. Number one, continue to pray for the family. I'd like to say tonight to Chief and to the men and women in blue, thank you, sir, for a job well done. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Katz?
I also met with John Markey from JKM Developers regarding the properties that are currently under development behind Target and the Renaissance Commons Boulevard area. I went to the High Ridge Landing ribbon cutting off of High Ridge, just across from some of the breweries we have. And I also went to the AFL-CIO Legislative Update Breakfast this past Saturday, and I wanted to echo what Vice Mayor said with regards to the swift work of the Boynton Beach Police Department. They do a great job, and I hope everybody knows that that they're working hard to make sure that problems like this don't happen, and when they do happen, people are brought to justice swiftly. Thank you.
All right. My past 2 weeks, on February 8th and 9th, I attended the My Brother's Keeper event over in West Palm Beach. I also attended the Neighborhood Officers Program community event, and also went to the Boynton Beach High School's playoff game, which they won. On the 9th, I went to the Heart of Boynton Beach Association's meeting. On the 10th, I went to the medical marijuana legalization hosted by Green Spoon Martyr, and I'll explain a little bit more about that event. I also attended the pre-5K over at Barrier Park for the Magic Wheels. I ran the barrier-free 5K. I got third place, a nice little tile, and attended the Boynton Beach Art District. 13th, I met with JKM Developments regarding the Cortina project and the dog park. On the 14th, I met with Eden Properties and attended the ribbon cutting for the YMCA. Also on the 15th, I attended the High Ridge Landing grand opening. Already it is at 55% full after 4 months, so it seems that there are a lot of people that want to move to Boynton Beach and live here. The 16th, I went to the Business Development Bureau's breakfast regarding the sports arenas, the new ballpark of the Palm Beaches that opens next week on the 28th, and the Equestrian Center in Wellington, and went to the Metropolitan Planning Organization meeting. On the 17th, I went to another Habitat for Humanity groundbreaking. I spoke at the Finnish American Chamber of Commerce luncheon. I attended the Judge Bradley Harper investiture, and went to Music on the Rocks to see the band. Also, on the 18th, I attended the Finnish Gala, which they are celebrating their 100th year of freedom from Russia, and very excited. I booked my trip to go see our sister city in Rama, Finland this June. If you were interested in joining me as a delegation, we would speak to the Sister Cities International of Boynton Beach. On the 19th, I went to the Kiwanis Car Show, which was another great event. I think they're going to be also holding it more often. Saw the Gold Coast Band, and went to another gala for Equality Florida. And that was past 2 weeks. Commissioner Romulus, you're up.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, had a pretty eventful couple of days. I attended the Haitian Citizens Academy. This is a first annual, hopefully, event that was hosted by the Palm Beach County School District. It was actually here at our school. I'm drawing a blank. The one on Gateway, the elementary school. So it was there, and it was amazing. It was a really good event, really informational to really help to encourage and bring on just more inclusion in the community. So that was also an event that I attended. I also attended the My Brother's Keeper Summit. I sat in and really got involved in my first TDC board meeting. This is a Tourist Development Council board meeting, and of course, like anything, we hit the ground running in my first meeting. And one of the things right now that as a city and as a county that we're facing is we have a threat that is actually imminent upon Visit Florida and Enterprise Florida. So these are entities that allow for businesses to come from out of state, that attract and recruit businesses from out of state, also helping with our tourism industry here in South Florida. And this is something that at this point in time right now in Tallahassee is kind of under attack. So we're asking for our community leaders to step up, and also our people who know how important this industry is, especially living down here in South Florida, how many people we employ, how many businesses are open simply because of our tourism industry. So we want to make sure that we actually look this in the eye and we confront it head on. I also attended the South Tech site visit for a STEM program that they're trying to have there. I think this is something that will be very beneficial for the community, for South Tech, and really just anyone who's interested in that program or that school. Adding that STEM aspect to it will actually make it just that much more of a inviting school, and that much more of a stepping stone above other schools in the area. So we're we're crossing our fingers and hoping that they're able to get that grant. And I also did attend the Finnish American celebration luncheon as well for their 100th year anniversary. So that's all I have for now. Thank you.
Seeing no more informational items, moving on to announcements, community and special events and presentation. First announcement, the commission meeting on Tuesday, March 7, 2017 has been rescheduled to Monday, March 6, 2017 at 6:30 p.m. in the commission chambers due to the members of the commission traveling to Tallahassee.
Mayor?
Yes.
Just for my information, as I understood it, there was a District 2 candidates forum scheduled for that night. Has that been changed?
That has been changed, sir. Thank you. It's going to be on March the 9th.
March 9th. Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
And then next is a proclamation. I, Stephen B. Grant, Mayor of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, do hereby proclaim that a general election will be held in the City of Boynton Beach, Palm Beach County, Florida, on the 14th day of March 2017 to elect the one commissioner from District 2 to serve a 3-year term expiring in March 2020. The voting hours are between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. on said date. Polling places are hereby designated as follows. Precinct 3188, Christ Fellowship Church, 801 North Congress Avenue. Precinct 3190, Imagine Schools Chancellor Campus, 3333 High Ridge Road. Precinct 4024, Harvey E. Oyer Jr. Park, US 1 and Northeast 21st Avenue. Precinct 7178, Ezel Hester Community Center, 1901 North Seacrest Boulevard. Precinct 7180 and 7184, St. John Missionary Baptist Church, 900 North Seacrest Boulevard, and Precinct 7182, Carolyn Sim Center, 225 Northwest 12th Avenue. Next, we will have a career expo at Carolyn Sim Center Thursday, March 23, 2017, from 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m., sponsored by the CRA, City of Boynton Beach, and Career Source. So please, if anyone is looking for a job or looking to improve their current career, see if they can attend. Also, if any employers want to, please contact the city or the CRA. That I am having an upcoming Mayor's Town Hall meeting before next City Commissioners meeting right here in Chambers on Monday, March 6, 2017 at 4 p.m. at City Hall. Basically, the Town Hall meeting is a chance for people to speak to myself in an informal fashion. We had accomplished, I think, a lot talking about different ways to get the things going out from the city to the people, trying to start a community relations board, and other things that are going on. Next is the City Commission, CRA Board, and respective staff will be having a strategic planning workshop special meeting, 6-month update on Tuesday, March 28, 2017 at the Intracoastal Park Clubhouse beginning at 3:30 p.m. This meeting is open to the public. And is it possible that we get this videotaped to go on our YouTube website?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if anyone is unable to attend it, we will put it on the internet. And next is the presentation of a plaque appreciation to the sand sifters for their volunteer efforts to clean the beach at Oceanfront Park under the direction of John Levinson, the John I. Leonard High School SWAT Club sponsor. Volunteers of all ages have been removing litter and trash from our beach every month since 2005. Wally?
If the mayor can join me, and I'm going to ask Jeff Levinson to also join us. And Jeff, anybody else that you'd like to come forward to recognize this really great group that, again, since 2005, if you can imagine, these people have been organizing themselves on a monthly basis to remove litter from our beach. And unfortunately, if you ever go to the beach and you take a moment to look down, you probably will not be surprised to see that it's not as clean as you would imagine. And it's not uncommon, especially to see cigarette butts that people discard on our beaches, and it's sad to see, and it's just, we're very lucky that at least we have this group that's been supporting us for so long, and far too long we've waited to recognize and praise, give them praise for their efforts. So in 2005, again, they joined us, and they had a little turnover in the direction whereby the gentleman who started it, his name was Gary Solomon. Gary moved in around 2013, I believe, but we were lucky enough that Gary recruited Jeff and his group. These are a group from John I. Leonard High School. There are students working against tobacco, which is appropriate considering that, again, one of the most prevalent items that's littered on our beaches are cigarette butts. So we are very, very fortunate, and we're very grateful for Mr. Levinson and his group. And with that being said, I wanted to present them a plaque that the mayor can hand to them, and again, to show them our gratitude for all they've done for us over all these years. And with that, again, I thank them very much.
So I just want to say my kids from John I. Leonard High School work really hard to keep Oceanfront Park clean, and as a bonus they get community service hours, and since we run it, we invite people from all over the county to come clean it, and we average like about 70 to 120 volunteers on the first Saturday of every month. So thanks a lot.
I'd like to mention that actually this is one of the organizations that I used to volunteer for when I was in high school back at South Tech, and I remember when I saw the name, it just clicked all of a sudden. Sand Sifters. I used to go out there on Saturdays and help clean up, so it's amazing to see you guys are still here and still working in the community, so thank you for all your service.
Thank you, and you all are invited to come give us a hand.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Okay. Just very quickly, just to give you a sense of what these folks have done over the 3-year period between 2014 and 2016, they've recruited more than 1,400 volunteers and have worked over 3,900 hours. So, again, thank you very much, Sand Sifters. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have a presentation by our community standards staff about departmental operations.
I'd just like to say something as they're preparing themselves to come forward. I didn't get a call. I was at the senior center, and one of the individuals who attend for luncheon, he told me about this building that was on Federal Highway, which was like a stop and go and a laundromat. And he said it was an eyesore and somebody need to do something. And I want to say thank you tonight to Mr. Howard. I made one phone call to the city manager's office. I went by the next morning. It was cleaned up. I said, wow. So I don't know what you did, but sir, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. My name is David Scott. I'm the interim director for Community Standards now that Mark Woods is on board. I'm still providing some support to that organization as we go forward.
Lift your microphone up just a little.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Tonight we wanted to briefly just bring you an update on Community Standards and where we are and where what has been done and where we're going. And I have with me both Pierre and Mark to assist me as we go forward, and they will be participating in this presentation. We have a lot of our staff here today, but I'll let Mark introduce them at the end. So we'll have them just stand up and at the end and be recognized. And of course, we want to acknowledge our magnificent city manager as well as our magnificent chief of fire, who has been a great support throughout this process. So with that, community standards, again, we're going to talk about what they are, what the purpose of community standards are, what tools do we have, and what have we done. And we'll get to the end where we talk about how we are engaging the community, and the community is who we work for, and that's who we answer to. And we remember that as we go forward. And at the end, we'll have questions for any of the commissioners that may want to ask a question. Community standards promotes compliance with all of community standards, and we address many of these issues, and many of you are aware of some of those issues. The litter and trash, they're all about making sure your community stays healthy, beautiful, safe, and a place you all want to live, work, and play. Why do we need community standards? We want to go from what many of you can see here as kind of dilapidated areas, dilapidated homes. We want to take this and help and work with the community to help them get to a nice, beautiful place to live. The Commission has set up a strategic plan 2015 through 2030, and it is to make sure Boynton Beach is a beautiful coastal city that follows all of these wonderful things. But you can't do that without promoting compliance with those community standards that make it a beautiful place to live. So this team is really important and integral to the success of the strategic plan. What tools do we have? We have the partnership with the engaged community, the committed leadership, as I mentioned earlier, and a dedicated staff that really believes in this. They live, work, and breathe it. And of course, we have the Florida statutes and the city codes and ordinances to support us. What have we done? We fielded over 1,000 in last fiscal year. We fielded over 1,000 calls, opened over 2,000 cases, conducted over 8,000 inspections, complied over 2,000 cases before reaching the certification stage, all with a staff of 4 inspectors. That's a lot of work that these ladies and gentlemen do every single day. And we're making a difference, but we can do more, and we recognize we can do more. We're engaging our community partners. We're working with our hired outreach coordinators. Those outreach coordinators are out there to serve and act as liaisons between the community and the city. We've established linkages between private and nonprofits, such as Habitat for Humanity and others. We're working with the local high school to develop programs where we could work with students that need community hours. And we continue to look at programs where we can involve the community more, where you're the eyes and ears in your own community, and you can provide the city with that support. We're also aligning our organization and providing additional resources. As I mentioned, we are now part of the fire department, and we combine with life safety, and we see the synergy between the two. And so we're attacking a lot of our issues jointly. In addition to that, we're reorganizing the zones, and I'll have Pierre just talk a little bit about that.
Vestigen Pierre, I'm the Community Standards Supervisor. We have the map in front of you. We have 3 outreach coordinators. We have one that's in the CRA area, as you can see, and we have the other one. The other one I can't see very far, but I am going to go to my map in front of me. Okay, we have 3 outreach coordinator. We have outreach 1 gonna be in zone 1 and 2, and 4 and 5, and the outreach 3 gonna be in zone 7 and 6. We have 1 outreach coordinator that's only for the CRA district, and we also have the specialists. You're going to be instead of code enforcement now, we call them specialists. We have specialist 1 that's going to have zone 1 and zone 2, and we have specialist 2 that's going to be in zone 3, and specialist 3 going to be in zone 4, and specialist 4 going to be in zone 5. And we also have specialists 5 gonna be in 6, and specialist 6 gonna be in zone 7. This is the current process we used to do when we were code enforcement. The current process used to be we have code patrol the area, and then we also have referral from city. Different department. We also have call from the citizen. The first thing we do when we receive those calls, or when the officer patrol the area, we conduct an inspection, and we send you a letter. When we conduct the inspection, if we find a violation, we send you a letter. We let you know you're in violation of our codes, and we also give you a time to comply. When you not comply, we conduct a re-inspection, and then if you don't comply, then we send you a notice to come before the magistrate. And When you appear before the magistrate, you can tell the magistrate what the reason you didn't comply with the violation notice, and the magistrate also give you another time to comply. Then if you don't comply, we also send you another letter, let you know you need to come before the magistrate to let the magistrate know why you didn't comply. We went to the property, we re-inspect the property, we see you didn't comply. If you comply, the violation is stopped and we close the case. But if you don't, you come back before the magistrate. The magistrate find out what is the reason you didn't comply, and the magistrate put a lien on your property. The new process we're doing now, we still have, patrol the area, we still have the referral, we still have the citizen calling us. We conduct an inspection, and we leave you with a door hanger on your door to let you know, this is what we see when we visit your property. We check the door hanger with the violation. We let you know you have some time to comply. In the door hanger, we leave in your door. We let you know the time you have to comply. If you don't comply, then now we send you a courtesy notice before we send you a straight violation notice. Now we send you a courtesy notice to let you know, listen, you didn't comply with our door hanger. We send you a courtesy notice. We try to work with you. Our job is looking for compliance, not to pull in on your property. Then if you don't comply with our courtesy notice, then we send you a notice of violation. So that's when the new process starts. And then if you don't comply again, then we continue with the magistrate and then put a lien on your property. As you can see in the new process, you're going to see the door hanger, you're going to see the courtesy notice before we send you a violation notice. The reason we do that, before we used to put a lien on your property, we don't even see you. Now we try to work with you. We try to reach out to you to find out what is the reason you didn't comply. If there's a family situation. Sometimes we have people that have death in the family. So now our job is to reach out to find out exactly what's going on with you before we can put a lien on your property. Yes, we also have a frequently asked question we send you with the courtesy notice. I believe this one is the courtesy notice, so you can see it in your literature.
Mayor Commissioner Mark was Director of Community Standards. All that came before you earlier, all that Mr. Scott and Mr. Pierre talked about, was for us to be able to develop ways so now that we can move this division into the 21st century. We are trying to develop performance measures and the like that use data to direct how we operate from this point going forward. We have looked at some of the data as it related to 2014-15 fiscal year, and we're going to start at that point and try and develop further data to be able to help us direct how we do our jobs and what's important for our jobs. That plus being able to communicate more effectively with the community is how we're going to be able to determine what it is that we do. Not only for how we do our jobs, but also how eventually how we budget and allocate our resources. How do we do that? First thing is for us to be able to do good in the community. We want to be able to have community partners that we can communicate with and have them realize that the work that we're doing is to benefit them. We expect that we're going to have coordinated community and commercial responses. That's responses from us. Our efforts are going to be coordinated, as I said before, through data-driven processes, but specifically by those that require the efforts. Those efforts are going to be focused on those that are chronic offenders. No longer are we going to allow the same property to have violations for years and years and years on end with liens for years and years on end. We'll be doing different things now to address those situations. But we cannot do it without the community. We're going out to actively make sure that we go to community meetings, all of those types of things, coming out to your neighborhood association meetings, having you call us, but we need to be able to hear from you all in order to be able to get our jobs done. There's nothing that we can do without you telling us, because we have a staff of right now about 10 inspectors total. Will be. 10, counting the the outreach coordinators, but that's nowhere near what we need in order to be able to effectively deal with the problems that we have and that we encompass in our city. So we have to rely on the community to call us, to be our eyes and ears in the street, to be able to tell us those things that they want us to do. And we're here to support you, so we need you to help us help you. That being said, we're going to I'll open it up for questions, but before we do, there's several members of the team that are here. So if you all could just stay in, Community Standards team. They're acting shy. These are just a few of the members of our team. They've been doing a really good job. Yes, please. We're looking forward to bigger, better things going forward. And at this point, we'll open it up for the questions from the Mayor and Commission.
Thank you. Let me go first. Okay, in regards to your map, can you send me one that depicts District 2? I'm just saying, you know, I'm seeing nothing is really like being concrete for me to really see what's what. Okay, in regards to inoperable vehicles, who's responsible for those? Because in District 2, we have numerous ones with tags, etc. We have people parking illegal on streets and everything. I'm just saying, is that something falls under your...
It's a joint effort. Currently, it'll be enforced through the PD department with cooperation with us.
Next question: who should we call? Should we call you or call PD?
You can call us. We'll be the go-between for whatever services need to be obtained.
All right. The individual for the CRA, have we filled that position yet?
It has been. You mean the coordinator, the outreach coordinator?
Are they here?
They're not here tonight, no.
That would have been helpful. I'm just saying, you know, I like to see new employees so I know who I'm talking with. Okay.
Yes, it's a promotion. It's a current employee.
Courtney King. Okay, well, that's all. You have to just call his name. I know Courtney, but I'm just saying we need to know, you know. That's it for me. Welcome aboard.
We do have one here. Pat Hart, one outreach coordinator.
Okay, thank you.
I just got a couple of questions. Yeah. 2015, 2016, you did over 8,000 inspections with 4 inspectors. We now have 6 inspectors?
Yes.
Okay, so we hired 2 more inspectors.
We are hiring. They are not on board yet, but yes, that'll be the case.
Now, these inspectors are not called inspectors, they're called specialists?
Correct. They're called community standards specialists now.
Okay. When you send these the notifications you send to these properties that are not in compliance, are they certified notifications?
Once the official notice goes, the official notice is certified, and that's based on the statute that you saw, 162. We have to do it that way, but we're not sending notices for at least 2 parts of the process first. The first will be a door hanger, which we'll stop and we'll give them a copy of that door hanger, and the second will be a courtesy notice, and that's not sent certified.
Okay. You also stated that no more of the piling up on liens year after year. What kind of action are you taking to stop that kind of behavior?
Well, we're looking at being able to, depending on the validity of the liens and how big they are, we'll be able to take those forward and maybe there are options. One is to foreclose. That's an option that's on the table. Another is to maybe do some other things depending on the violation. We could place it on the tax roll depending on the type of violation. If it's a public nuisance, we could be able to do that. And there's some other things we're working on right now, but I'm not at liberty to say because they're still in the planning stages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Commissioner, I could certainly add to that. One of the other things that we are looking at is probably a tiered approach to fines, and that's one of the proposals that we're looking at internally. We want to make it easy, so maybe you start with a low fine, and then you start building it up if you don't pay, almost like you do a toll. So we want to make it easier for you to. We want people to come into compliance before we get to the hammer stage.
Well, I understand code is not a revenue generator, but the years I've been sitting up here now is that it's been my experience that people get these outrageous fine buildups where thousands and thousands of dollars. Then they come in and they pay pennies on what those and the fine and the violations have been lasting for years, but yet they only pay pennies on those violations. Is that something you're trying to stop or get them? I know the whole object of this whole thing is to get them in compliance.
Absolutely. And again, Commissioner, that's a mindset. And again, that's going to first depend on this board and commission setting those standards to say that what they'd allow us to do is make it easier for you to comply in the beginning and much more difficult to get out of the lien stages. So if you get into the lien part of the process, then we're saying that the pennies on the dollar probably won't be happening anymore. It'll probably be dollars on the dollar.
Okay. Thank you.
extra steps that have been added. So how do we prevent that from adding time, like increasing the time frame from where we were now to where we're going?
All three of us chomping at the bit to answer your question. Yes, it does add time, but it really is to get you in. We want to get you into compliance. We don't want to hit you with the hammer up front. So there's some good people in the community that are trying to do the right thing. So the process to allow those people or that part of the community to get to the right thing. Do we also have an opportunity to skirt that process? If you're a bad egg or a bad apple, we can skip the notification part and go right to the magistrate process. Go right to the old process where we take you right on through the process.
Okay, so
we know who the bad guys are.
Right. Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
So that's the way you will handle repeat offenders. You call them bad guys. Rotten eggs. Okay, just.
And I just want to add to that. If it's a life safety situation, we move forward with the first process, like open pool, So a dirty pool, we move forward to the first process to make it quicker.
All right, Commissioner Katz, do you have anything?
No, I'm just excited to see the new format roll out. I think that it's more friendly and it's more inviting for people to come into compliance. Whereas being issued citations outright without any personal contact tends to create an adversarial role, which is not the intention of the specialists, obviously. And I like the idea that by being more cordial up front and giving them multiple kind of unofficial notices, I think that to Commissioner Ramos's question, I think that if they invest a little bit more time up front, that it might decrease the amount of work on the back end for some of these repeat offenders or stacked offenses. So I'm hopeful that this will create efficiencies that actually allow you guys to get more work done. So I like everything I hear.
All right. So my questions are: what is the phone number?
561-742-6120.
6120. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's my number.
Well, they said start at the top.
The next thing is I saw it was last year or maybe 2 years ago. And do you have an upgraded software? Is it still on the Excel spreadsheet?
Unfortunately, still on the Excel spreadsheet, but we are really moving quickly to try to get the software in place and the processes in place to get us to the dashboards.
Okay.
As Mark mentioned, not only are we holding ourselves accountable with the data, we want to be able to be as transparent as possible.
Wonderful. The next thing is also the removal of the liens, because I know that some people who want to buy properties that have been foreclosed upon that are not in compliance, and not only thousands, but tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and sometimes millions of dollars are on these properties. If there's $1 million lien, it doesn't seem like we're going to get anyone to invest in the property. So how do we remove the liens? Is that also in community standards?
It would be, but each case would be based on its own merits, and there's not a set percentage to say every case will have this amount released. So it'll be based on its own merits.
Okay.
Mayor, about 2 years ago, we instituted the conditional release of lien program for that exact reason, so we can have negotiated stipulations that certain deadlines are met and those liens will be forgiven, but compliance needs to be attained within a certain time frame. Otherwise, you revert back. It's all through stipulations and agreement. It's working well.
And then my last thing is, what is the qualification difference between the outreach coordinator and the community standards specialist?
The community specialist, you have to have level 1 to get in. The outreach, you have to have level 1, level 2, level 3, 5 years experience.
Okay. That's it. All right.
We didn't mention Pierre was promoted to the supervisor of the division as well. We're just recently, and you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the commission? Seeing none. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on to public audience. Individual speakers will be limited to 3-minute presentations.
Mark Hara, George 240A, Main Boulevard. And before any of the community standards people leave, I want to commend Chief Joseph, Deputy Chief Clemens, the great hire of Mark Woods, who cut his teeth in tough areas in Tamarack and Riviera Beach and Lake Worth. And just in the 3 years he was in Lake Worth, I'll tell you, he turned things around there in a big, big way. And I know this because I served on our code compliance board for over 3.5 years. I'm also certified level 1. I haven't used it yet, but all good things in time. But I will tell you firsthand that the promotion of Officer Pierre, he has for years, folks, for years, been your finest code officer and now community standards. He is the ideal person to be that supervisor and to get things done. It all comes down to your goal is voluntary compliance, and you have to work in a customer-friendly way to achieve it. And that's what they're doing, and I commend them on the restructuring, and I commend them on the great selection of leadership. From the top on down, this is a quality team. It's one of the best in the county, and it's only going to get better. In addition to that, in my role as on the Government Affairs Committee for the Chamber, I want to announce that on March 8th, the Government Affairs Committee of the Chamber is presenting a nonpartisan candidate debate for City Commission District 2. It will be at the City Hall Library, March 8th, which is a Wednesday, from 6:30 until 8 p.m. at the City Hall Library Program Room, right here at our library. It is open to the public. In fact, we encourage the public to come. You will be able to fill out cards and ask questions of the candidates, and we look forward to having this great event. The following night will be Black Votes Matters Candidate Forum, and I'm not sure of the location. I think it's going to be New Disciples Worship Center, most likely, but that will be the following night. And we encourage everybody to come out and support that. And with that, I'm done. Thank you.
Mr. Kerry George, you made mention, you said City Hall Library. I think it's just the City Library.
The City Library, yes,
Thank
sir,
you.
the program room.
Okay.
That's where it will be, and everybody's invited.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As a point of correction, wasn't this the event that we just said was not March 8th, but was moved to March 9th
No,
because
there's
of
two.
the...
There's two.
This is something else?
You
Yes.
got the 8th and the 9th.
Got it. Okay.
Wednesday and Thursday.
Hello, everybody. My name is Peter Gilliam. My address is 305 Southwest 5th Ave, Boynton Beach, Florida. I wanted to ask a question because I currently work with Florida Immigration Coalition, and a lot of indigenous migrant workers throughout the last couple of weeks been, going through a lot of governmental, national reconstructing of the communities, and I wanted to see exactly where the commission stands on, protecting immigrants, indigenous migrant workers that's not really identifiable by the system, where these ISIS agents and Chrome agents are picking up people at courthouses, communities, houses, and stuff like that. Because while I'm working with these coalitions, there's a lot of this questioning coming from business owners, residents, and concerned family members. So in Boynton Beach, I would like to see exactly where the commission stands on that, so coalitions like the Florida Immigration Coalition could know exactly how to go about their peoples. Any of y'all would like to, speak up on that?
I would just like to say one thing, Peter, since you came forward. I think when you start dealing with immigrants and everything, that is a federal issue, and I'm just saying, I like to follow guidelines, what the federal government says. That's when it comes to me.
So you, from what you're saying is that you're following the state guideline.
We have to follow.
As a city, we don't have jurisdiction to say whether or not we choose to embrace or follow these laws. We don't have a choice. We have to. So personally, we may have our own opinion on the matter, but as a city, as an entity, we can't have an opinion. This is simply a federal matter, and
It's the law.
as Palm Beach County, from what I understand, Virginia Baker had made known that this is not a sanctuary county, so everyone pretty much is up for grabs from to put it very clearly and bluntly.
Well, that's why
Okay.
I was asking, because I had seen the mayor in the community on this Saturday, and I kind of asked him that question, but as an official, he said he wasn't really informed of what status the Florida state was going to go by, but he was going to, come back to me on that. So that's kind of the answer I was looking for. Thank you very much. And I have one more question. When it comes to the County Sim Center, the pool over there. I remember recently in one of the last commission meetings, we spoke about having the pool open on holidays when there's no school for the children. This Monday, President's Day, it was not available and open to the community. And there was young youth in a basketball court and playing around, and it was kind of like a summer day. So, from just what we already established, I would like to see to know how to follow up on that, or if y'all would be able to keep up with that.
Thank you for letting us know, and it won't happen again.
And let me just go ahead and say something. Since it was a holiday, President, a property staff was notified that they was going to be off. The city manager will look into it. I'm just saying, and it's not the Carolyn Sims pool, it's the John Denson pool.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
I apologize about it.
Thank you.
But thank you. I appreciate it.
Good evening. Suzanne Ross, Schoolhouse Children's Museum. There are a lot of things going on at the museum and coming up at the museum. However, I'm here this evening to introduce to you and sing the praises of a Boynton Beach group and make an introduction and inform you of an exciting upcoming event. At the podium with me this evening is Judy Alterman. Hello. In her finest spring regalia. She is the co-president of the Boynton Beach Garden Club. For those of you who don't know, the Boynton Beach Garden Club planted and expertly maintains the butterfly garden on the east side of the museum. This beautiful garden is a delight to museum visitors and is actually home to the Atala butterfly, a nearly extinct butterfly that has been making a comeback in South Florida. In addition to the butterfly garden, the Garden Club created a new event last year and is partnering with Plamosa Elementary School of the Arts and the museum for the second annual Art in Bloom, which will take place on March 10th and 11th at the museum. Art in Bloom is an exhibit composed of floral arranged interpretation of visual art. Originally started in Boston in 1976, the Boynton Beach Garden Club held their inaugural Art in Bloom last year. The artwork and floral designs will be displayed on two spaces on the second floor. The remainder of the museum will be open for play at regular admission prices. Viewing the Art in Bloom display is free to the public. The museum is very excited to be partnering with the Garden Club, and we look forward to having everyone enjoy this unique event. An opening night reception is scheduled for March 10th, Friday evening from 5 to 7 p.m. Enjoy light bites, refreshments, and view floral interpretations of the artwork done by Plamosa students. Flyers are in the back of chambers should you wish them, and we look forward to seeing you there. One other thing I did find out from Judy this evening, the Boynton Beach Garden Club have been in existence for 89 years. 80. I lied. 80 years. Next year it'll be 80. 79 years. Thank you.
Good evening. Mayor Stephen Grant, Vice Mayor McCray, Mrs. Lori Lavera, City Manager, and Mr. Colin Groff, Commissioner.
Mr. Collins, excuse us, we're going to have to ask for your name and your address prior.
I have that.
Please.
That's on there.
Okay.
Okay, my name is Nathan Collins. I live at 429 Northwest 8th Avenue, Boynton Beach. I'm a native Floridian. I was born and reared here in Boynton, and I'm a retired high school principal, 19 years, at Palm Beach Lakes Community High School. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to you this evening. The purpose of me addressing you this evening is to, number one, thank the City of Boynton Beach and some of its top city officials. St. John Missionary Baptist Church used a strip of land that we own and a piece that is owned by another church in an area, Boynton Beach Church of God. The land is used for overflow parking when we are having large activities at our church. Over the years, we began to experience some parking problems in some of the land areas. Our trustee ministry was given a task of making the necessary corrections for those areas. We experienced the positive guidance from some of your top city officials that helped us and guided us through the process necessary to make those improvements in the areas. Special thanks goes to, and I hope I pronounce these names correctly, Mrs. Jamie Ann Wally, Administrative Secretary. It all started with her. She is extremely positive and has an extremely positive attitude, and you should be really proud of her. Mr. John Kutzman, I hope I pronounced that right, Building Department. Mr. Franz LaFronte, I hope I pronounced that right, is City Engineer, Planning Analyst, and Inspector. And last but not least, Mr. Colin Groff, Assistant City Manager. The city officials were extremely helpful in helping us solve these problems, and they all are to be commended. On behalf of our pastor, Reverend LaVon Davis, the trustee board, and the members of St. John Community Baptist Church, thank you very much for that help.
Thank you for letting us know. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. Collins, you said St. John Community Baptist Church, it's St. John Missionary Baptist Church. I'm a member, sir. Thank you. I understand. Thank you. But in regards to that, we do have positive things that are happening here in our city, and thank you, St. John, for stepping up to the plate just to give us a note of thanks. I'm just saying your job is not going undone. People are, seeing the fruits of your labor, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Harry Woodworth. I live at 685 Northeast 15th Place in Boynton Beach. Some of you have seen in the paper, in the media, different places, references to a political action group that's been formed here in the city recently over the last 6 months. Rather than let you read bits and pieces of it in the paper, I thought I would just come here and give a little high-level flyby of some of the stuff that's going on so you'll know what's going on, and perhaps some of the people here will be aware of it. There is a new political action committee that's been formed. I know most people aren't big fans of PACs because they have connotations. This PAC is formed by citizens, residents who are concerned about the city. Specifically, it's called the Sustainable Cities Initiative Political Action Committee, a 501c4 and all that stuff in place. There's a very strong perception among a lot of the citizens, as I'm sure you're aware, that special interests have been taking over the city of Boynton politics, driving the bus, if you will, dominating local elections, campaign contributions, and other stuff that you've read about and are party to. This PAC was formed to help citizens regain control of their destiny. It has been obvious for the last year and a half that you can't come to this commission meeting and have much of an impact. So the change is going to be made that we're going to work with candidates, local candidates, that will support the initiatives of the citizens of the city. Public interest, nonpartisan political action committee. Our goal is to work on the issues that the citizens want so that they end up living in the city that they want, not other people that don't work here want. Currently, our quality of life is degrading. That's a perception. You can believe it or not, but a lot of people do believe it. And there's a very common theory that perception is fact. Things like overdevelopment, traffic congestion. If you've been out driving around, I think you know that, especially on Gateway, Woolbright, or Federal. We want to support people who will capably and honestly serve the interests of the public, the citizens, the residents, not other people that want to build things here and do other things to the city that don't necessarily generate green space. We want to have some control over the height and density of new buildings. We want to have some input into the Town Square project. We want to work on things like increasing or reducing traffic congestion, improving bike and pedestrian safety. Some of this stuff's in place, and a whole long list of other things. Local initiatives, nothing outside the city or the county, no national stuff. We're not going to work in general elections. Strictly local people doing things for local candidates to help get the people elected that the citizens want in place to have the city that we want in place. Again, our group is called the Sustainable Cities Initiative Political Action Committee, or SCIPAC, S-C-I-P-A-C, SCIPAC. Thank you.
Mike Fitzpatrick, 175 Southwest 2nd Street. Speaking here as the chair of the Sustainable Cities Initiative Political Action Committee. What I'd like to talk about tonight is this map, which everybody in here probably recognizes as the transportation-oriented design magic circle, which is a half mile around the proposed train station. Now, the problem with that is It's basically a fraud on the city, where every time it's mentioned by the CRA, the city, it means nothing. This is the Palm Beach Metropolitan Planning Organization 2040 Long Range Transportation Plan. And on page 76, Final Desires Plan, it has new Tri-Rail Coastal Link service, 15 new Tri-Rail stations for improving and extending service and supporting new Coastal Link service, which is between Jupiter and Fort Lauderdale via the FEC Railway. And then that's page 76. On page 122, it has a category titled Unfunded Desires Plans Projects. And that is part of the unfunded desire is Tri-Rail Coastal from Jupiter to Fort Lauderdale, 10 Tri-Rail Coastal Link stations proposed on the Florida East Coast, FEC Railroad. So I wrote to Nick Urin, the chair of the MPO, and he writes back, "Hi Mike, thanks for reading the backup material so thoroughly. Specific responses are noted below." So my question, what happened to the 5 stations between 15 listed on page 76 and 10 listed on page 122? Answer, 15 Tri-Rail stations and desired plans are in 3 categories. New stations for Tri-Rail Jupiter extension on FEC Corridor 3 in cost feasibility plan. New stations on existing Tri-Rail Corridor 2 not in cost feasibility plan. And of course for Boynton, new station on an FEC Corridor for Tri-Rail Coastal Link 10 not in cost feasibility plan. These are 10 stations on page 122. Second question, does this mean no train station and train service for Boynton Beach? Answer, Tri-Rail Coastal Link is not in our cost feasible plan, which means we haven't figured out how to pay for it over the next 25 years yet. Until we do, we can't provide desired TRCL station on the FEC south of Boynton Beach Boulevard. To create this service under current rules, we need 1, an access easement from the FEC, 2, a local funding source for at least 25% of the capital cost of the project, assuming Fed dollars for 50% and state dollars for 25%, 3, a local funding source for 100% of the OME.
Thank you.
So this means nothing.
Thank you. Yes, for the past week or two, I did receive something from the Treasure Coast Regional Planning Council, putting applications for grants for the train station, which I believe we are in the process of doing that with the deadline sometime in March. Am I correct with that?
Design.
So, yep. Huh?
Design.
The design. So, yeah, we are getting grant money for the design as we speak. Yes.
Woodrow Hay, 427 Northwest 5th Avenue, Boynton Beach. I'm here just to make it official that I'm also legal, that I'm running for District 2 Commission seat. So I want to commend my other components thus far for the professionalism that we all seem to be showing. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody. Dr. Jim Dvorsny, 2625 Lake Drive North, Boynton Beach, Florida. I'd like to also announce that I've been qualified as a candidate for City Commissioner of District 2. What I'm here to do tonight is to just say that I am the president of Inca this year. And last night we had our monthly meeting at the Schoolhouse Museum. Our guests were Captain McNevin and Chief Katz. We had an outstanding turnout. It was an opportunity for the police to address our community and just discuss how to be safe in the community. And it was an excellent education for our community. I'm also it's up to Willie Aikens, obviously, but I'd like to become member of the Heart of Boynton Association. I've been attending some of the meetings. Some of the folks here would attest to that. I'm trying to establish a best practices between a neighborhood association that works very well through communication and trying to get that standard in the Heart of Boynton as well. And perhaps we can have Chief Katz come out and attend one of those monthly meetings. Thank you.
Herb Suss, 1711 Woodfern, Boynton Beach.
Are you a candidate, Herb?
What? Tonight, I believe in taking our country back. The way things are going, I celebrated yesterday, not my President's Day. A gentleman has been appointed to the cabinet, Pruitt. He's anti-EPA, and we're going to have to breathe air. Like when I was stationed in the Marine Corps out in Pendleton in California, couldn't even breathe until it was cleaned up. The House of Representatives passed a ruling, or the president, about the coal mines dumping their silt into streams and waterways, okay? Pruitt wants to eliminate the EPA. We've already passed the standards of carbon in the air. It's gone. We cannot do anything about it. Its criteria is over. Big chunk of iceberg in the north broke down, is now in the seas, rising seas. The cabinet that is now representing this country, most of them are losers. They're Goldman Sachs, and they don't have the interest of our country. There are attacks on the media, and this is shades of what happened in 1933 in Germany. Can't happen here. Little by little, it's happening. I would like to meet with people in the back of this auditorium or outside, and we have to start taking our country back and start demonstrating. We'll go outside. This is a serious situation because the air that we breathe, the water that we drink is in peril. Also, we will never know, according to Comey, who the FBI, I don't trust him. We have a right as Americans to find out what the hell is going on with this Russian situation and this president that was elected. We're all in danger. And so meet me in the back of the auditorium or outside. And we have to, you talk about taking the city back. If we don't look at it, we will have pollution all over the lot. We have to make people here aware, and I hope the newspapers tonight report something, what the heck is going on. Our city is in peril. Not only the city, but the country's in peril. And especially with this EPA Pruitt, he's got emails that he never reported. So he got in by this. He's got to be taken out. He's got to be removed from, I don't mean it that way. He's got to be removed. He's got to be removed. And I don't mean taken out, because that's not the way to do it.
Thank you, Herb.
Thank you very, very much.
And I'd ask if you do it outside the auditorium.
Excuse me?
Outside of chambers.
That's what I said. I said, meet me in the back or outside. Outside. We got to do it, folks.
Seeing no more public audience, moving on to administrative. Seeing no one for the advisory boards, moving on to consent agenda. Is there any items that would like to be pulled?
Yeah, I'd like to pull D, just for your information.
And I
B or D?
D.
D is in boy.
No, he asked for
B
D.
is in boy. I'd like to pull E.
Did you also say B as a boy?
I'm with Commissioner Casello, B as well. I need discussion as well, B and E.
Okay, so we have B, D, and E. Is that correct?
I didn't do D. Did you do D?
Commissioner Casella did D.
I just think it's B and E, right?
No. I heard Commissioner Casella said D.
That's correct.
Yeah. So start with 6B. Vice Mayor McCray.
Thank you, sir. The reason I pulled this was that I asked the city staff this morning, I wanted to know how much money was being allocated for these vouchers, and it was $2,170. I want to say, Mr. Howard, thank you for getting me that information. Thank you. That's all I need to say about B.
Give me a motion to approve.
So move.
All those in favor?
Second.
Aye.
And I pulled D. I don't know if the city manager, she was going to appoint 5 members of an oversight committee. Are you in position to name those people at this time?
Sure.
Could you do that for the audience?
Alexandria Wilson, who has some engineering background. We have Adam Kerr, who also has an engineering background. Jude Averill, young gentleman with financial background, and Jerry Taylor, the former mayor, for the government background, and Mary Nagel, who I believe is the acting, if not the permanent, I think she's the acting president of BIG right now, and she was delighted and flattered to be asked.
Good, she's a good person.
All right.
Yeah, we're thrilled. We got a lot. I had a lot of interest. I had a lot of people approach me. Unfortunately, I only could pick 5, but we did have some good, strong interest, which was nice.
Thank you for that information.
Right, City Manager, did you give us those names? Was they provided in our backup?
No.
Okay.
No,
Can
it
you
was
just, all right.
for me to do administratively.
Thank you. Since you did it administratively, let me do something as a commissioner now. I need it just sent to me, please. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
May I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Item E.
Right. The reason I had this pool was because, first of all, when I asked questions about why was we doing this, years ago at the East Water Treatment Plant, we had, it was either 3 or 4 generators that was stolen. And I'm just wanting to tell the city manager, I'm glad that we're putting something on our equipment now so that we could track it. And the money we probably would have saved, but the generators that was taken from us probably would have replaced this. I did ask for the prices of the generators that range anywhere from $40,000 to $60,000, depending on the size. Ms. Howard, thanks again for that information. I'm just saying when I request information, I'm aware that it takes time, but thank you for your efficiency, sir. Thank you. With that being said, I'd like to offer a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. May I have a motion to approve the remainder of the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Bids and purchases over $100,000. The award, the bid for wastewater odor control chemicals and services. Would someone like a discussion? See none, may I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I see John in the back, so I'd like some more information regarding the putting green and if we have any timeline of when it will start. John, can you come up? Ron, I'm sorry.
Just for point of clarification, here in the material it says putting green. Was on my understanding it was for all greens. Is that correct? And maybe you want to clarify that, Ron.
Yeah.
Ron Tapper, Golf Course Manager, Head Pro. It's for all 18 greens on the championship course, plus their practice pitching green and chipping green. It's all the greens. And it's supposed to start in about the second or third week of May.
Not that I play golf, but I'm glad to see it's for all greens instead of putting green for $265,919.50, sir. Thank you. I can swallow that now.
Thank you, sir.
This is part of a loan that we issued to the golf course, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. May I have a motion?
And wait, before we go there,
Yeah.
and you said that if you do not make it a turnaround that, you're going to turn your job in. I hope we don't get to that, sir. I'm just saying you're doing a fantastic
That's
job.
okay. I'll put my job on the line along with everybody else.
I don't want you to put your job on the line. You're doing a fantastic job, sir, and I don't think you should
If
have
we
went
were a
that
year
far
earlier,
anyway.
we would make it this year. Weather was great. One thing I want to say, I will do everything, but I can't control the weather.
The weather's been good?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
It's looking good out there, Ron. Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
No code compliance, no public hearing. Moving on to new business. Item A, proposed resolution number R17-023, amend the full year 2016-17 budget for the adopted capital improvement projects based on the passage of the 1% local government infrastructure surtax effective January 1st, 2017.
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, just some discussion on that, if we may, with Tim, and I think we already had this discussion, but just for the public, this $3.2 million that we're allocating for this year, although we don't say exactly where this money is going to be dispersed and for what capital improvement projects, that will be at a later date, correct?
Correct. Tim Howard, Assistant City Manager. What we've done is we're asking the Commission to approve 4 projects. One is sidewalk improvements concerning ADA requirements, street work, paving type things, and resealing of Oriole Park. The sidewalks and the street paving will go out to bid. The list will come back to you for approval for the commission to award the bid, and in there will be the list of where exactly Public Works and Engineering has determined needs the most work at this time.
What's
So
the
you'll see it.
what's the oversight committee going to?
The Oversight Committee will, once they'll get this list of projects that are approved initially, then as the bids are awarded and as the funds are spent, they're charged with making sure that they're spent in line with the projects that the commission approves.
I just hope we don't get on that slippery slope that every district needs something, that every district needs something. So I know my district, we need some work on sidewalks and some streets up in that area. I'm sure every district does. So I just want to make sure it's a fair and equitable type disbursement of these monies.
I believe I think staff will do the assessment of the priorities of where it's needed, and you'll see that and at the time of award. So you'll see where they are, and I am confident that staff will. You've got Jeff Livergood and the engineer that will do the assessment of.
Thank you.
Tim, as these contracts are awarded, as these bids are awarded, how much emphasis are we giving to minority contractors? How much emphasis are we giving to individuals that are within the community, local hires to do these projects?
Working on that right now. As we get together the assessment and working on the bid documents, we're going to take a look at that and see how we can work that in right now.
Will you be bringing something back to us? Okay, I just want to make sure.
We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Let me just jump in here. Since we brought up about sidewalks, I just want to tell staff that on Northwest 17th, that was a sidewalk on the corner, I'm just saying, and it was broken in about 4 or 5 pieces. And I just want to tell staff, thank you. You should be commended. The phone call was made. You got out there and seen that it was going to be a problem. People was driving automobiles on there, dropping off their kids. You all went out and replaced it. And for those individuals that called from my district and said, you know, it happened so fast, I just want to tell you, you all are really moving expeditiously. I'm getting nervous. Thank you.
Item 12B, Community Support Funds request form from Commissioner Katz for the Homeless Teen Project.
Yeah, with with the will of the board, I'd like to allocate $1,000 of my community support funds to the All the Same Stripes organization at Boynton Beach High School. I contributed some money through this our community support funds last year to this program, and it's just they're doing great things. Basically, I teach and I work in the schools, and I figured when I came up here that would kind of be something that I would be pushing for, which is to help students and young people. Everybody, when they get elected, I think has their kind of pet projects or initiatives they look to be able to help in the community. And just what this program's doing at Boynton Beach High School, providing funds that allow for students who are just born into a bad luck situation and deprived of the basic things that I think everyone would take for granted, is just it makes me very happy that this exists not only in our schools but in our community at Boynton Beach High School. So again, with the will of the commission, I'd like to allocate $1,000 to the All the Same Stripes program at Boynton Beach High School to assist homeless students living within our district and specifically at Boynton Beach High School.
I'd like to make comments before we do this. First of all, Commissioner Casello and I, we went out last year. We was invited out to see really what was happening. And I don't know about anybody else, but I was one of those that stood back in tears. I'm just saying, to find out people was living in conditions that was unbelievable. And when they was telling us of their plight and their story, I just couldn't believe it. It was like the point where, if you had any kind of compassion for anybody, it was overwhelming. Sir, I want to applaud you for giving $1,000. When I looked out on your thing, it said $2,000. I wish you would have given the whole amount, sir, but I will approve this with you, sir. Thank you.
I'd just like to add on to that. That day was very emotional. It brought tears to my eyes. And having a daughter that goes to Boynton High, I had no idea that kind of problem exists in our high schools of homeless students. I had no idea, and I commend you, Commissioner Katz, for taking hold of it.
Motion to approve.
Second.
As a point of clarification, this is going directly to Boynton Beach High School in that program, correct? Because I see this W-9 form is just for Palm Beach County.
Yeah, it's going to the 501c3 that they have set up.
Okay, thank you.
And just for a matter of clarification, for the community support funds, Judy, they do have to give us a report of how the money is spent.
Yes, and that paperwork is sent with the money, so they know their requirements.
All right, has been approved. A motion has been approved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Nope. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Item 13C is what I'd like to put on the future agenda item is a proposed ordinance for medical marijuana dispensary locations. Currently, there is no sort of land development regulations for the dispensary medical marijuana. And since we do not know what's going to happen with the state legislation, I think we need to give time for staff to see what happens with state legislation before we allow any sort of dispensaries within the city. And I think just allowing them giving them the 6 months is enough time to wait till after the legislation has been convened and time for us to review the ordinance. So I just can I get a motion to approve?
That's going on the future agenda. So moved.
Yes.
I'll second that, and we've had a little bit of this discussion in the past, and I agree with you, Mayor. I think it's a discussion that we need to have, but I think the voters here in Florida have spoken loud and clear on what they're looking for. It looks like it's going to be a political football up there in Tallahassee. I've been told by certain people that cities that have measures already in place might be better positioned in the negotiations. So it's just something we can have that discussion when we bring it up.
And do we have a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Jim, 13A.
Excuse me, before he goes, I'm just saying, make sure, Lori, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but make sure that the chief is in on this. I'm just saying, I just want to make sure.
Okay, ordinance 17005, an ordinance of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, approving an amendment to Part 3 Land Development Regulation, Chapter 3, Article 4, Section 3D, Use Matrix Notes, Number 103, striking pilot program language and codifying landscape debris stockpiling use and land development regulations, providing for conflicts, severability, inclusion, and an effective date. This draft of the ordinance includes the amendment provisions that you discussed at first reading. This is a public hearing.
I have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All right. This is a second reading, so I'm opening it up to public comment. If anyone would like to speak, please come down. Seeing none. Any discussion from the commission? Seeing none. May I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Grant.
Yes.
Vice Mayor McCray.
Yes.
Commissioner Katz.
Yes.
Commissioner Romulus.
Aye.
Commissioner Casella.
Yes.
The vote is 5-0.
Ordinance 17006, an ordinance of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 26 Water, Sewer, and City Utilities, Article 1 in general of the Code of Ordinances by creating a new Section 26-8.2 entitled Water Service Annexation Agreement, providing for authority to sign agreements, providing for conflict severability, codification, and an effective date.
Motion to approve for discussion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Right.
All right.
This is the agreement that we agreed upon where this will go directly to the city manager. It will not have to come back before this commission.
The agreements can be signed by the city manager or the utilities director. The release of a water sewer annexation agreement, if and when that occurs, can only occur by the city commission.
And so will they be required to have, I guess, was it power of attorney for annexation along with all the agreements?
Those all go in the original document, and those are the agreements that the manager will sign once she sees that those have been properly executed.
Okay. Yeah, roll call. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We have to let it open up for public discussion first. If anyone has any comments, please come down now. Seeing none, is there any further discussion from the board? Seeing none, may I have a roll call, please?
Vice Mayor McCray.
Aye.
Commissioner Katz.
Yes.
Commissioner Romulus.
Aye.
Commissioner Casello.
Yes.
Mayor Grant.
Yes.
The vote is 5-0.
All right. I see the future agenda item for C, chronic nuisance ordinance. I guess we're going to get an update for maybe March or April. All right. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor say aye. Aye.